For more than 70 years, the relationship between Iran and the United States has been shaped by distrust, conflict, and power struggles. This is not the story of one war, but a long history of tension. 1953, the beginning. In 1953, Iran's Prime Minister, Mohammad Mossadegh, nationalized Iran's oil. The US and Britain feared losing control. Through a CIA-backed coup, Mossadegh was removed, and Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi was restored to power. This moment planted deep resentment inside Iran. 1979, Islamic Revolution. In 1979, the Iranian people overthrew the Shah. Ruhollah Khomeini returned from exile. Soon after, Iranian students seized the US embassy in Tehran. 52 Americans were held hostage for 444 days. From this moment, Iran and America became enemies. 1988, Iran-Iraq War. When war broke out between Iran and Iraq, the United States supported Iraq. American forces clashed indirectly with Iran. In the Persian Gulf, in 1988, the US Navy destroyed much of Iran's navy. Trust between the two nations was completely broken. 1992, 2000s, sanctions and threats. The US imposed heavy sanctions on Iran over terrorism claims and nuclear fears. In 2002, Iran was labeled part of the axis of evil. Economic pressure increased, but conflict remained indirect. For more than 7 decades, the relationship between Iran and the United States has been shaped by mistrust, fear, and repeated confrontation. This is not the story of one single war. It is the story of power, ideology, and a conflict that still affects the Middle East today. After the rise of that hari zo wandoz, the roots of the conflict, 1953. To understand the tension, we must go back to the year 1953. At that time, Iran was ruled by a democratically elected prime minister, Mohammad Mossadegh. Mossadegh made a bold decision. He nationalized Iran's oil industry, which was controlled by Western companies. This decision angered Britain and worried the United States. Fearing the spread of Soviet influence during the Cold War, the CIA supported a coup that removed Mossadegh from power. Iran's king, Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, was restored as ruler. For many Iranians, this moment was a betrayal. They believed the United States had destroyed their democracy. The seeds of anger were planted. The Shah and growing resentment. 1960 seconds. 1970 seconds. For the next 25 years, the Shah ruled Iran with strong US support. He modernized the country, but his rule was authoritarian. Secret police silenced critics. Opposition voices were crushed. While America saw the Shah as an ally, many Iranians saw him as a symbol of foreign control. Public anger continued to grow, quietly but dangerously. 1979, the Islamic Revolution. In 1979, everything changed. Millions of Iranians rose up against the Shah. The revolution was led by Ruhollah Khomeini, a religious scholar who opposed Western influence. The Shah fled the country. Iran became an Islamic republic. Soon after, Iranian students stormed the US embassy in Tehran. They took 52 American diplomats hostage for 444 days. This event shocked the world. For Americans, it was humiliation. For Iranians, it was revenge for decades of interference. From this moment on, Iran and the United States became sworn enemies. Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988. Only 1 year after the revolution, Iran was attacked by Iraq. The war between Iran and Iraq lasted 8 long years. The United States feared Iran's revolutionary ideology would spread across the region. As a result, America supported Iraq politically, financially, and indirectly militarily. During the war, US and Iranian forces clashed in the Persian Gulf. In 1988, the US Navy destroyed much of Iran's navy in a single day. By the end of the war, hundreds of thousands were dead, and hatred between Iran and America had deepened. Sanctions and isolation, 1,990 seconds. After the war, the United States shifted strategy. Instead of direct military conflict, it used economic pressure. Heavy sanctions were placed on Iran. America accused Iran of supporting militant groups and attempting to build nuclear weapons. Iran denied these claims, but the sanctions remained. Ordinary Iranian citizens suffered most. The conflict moved from battlefields to banks, trade routes, and global diplomacy. Axis of evil, early 2000s. In 2002, the United States labeled Iran as part of the axis of evil. This speech confirmed Iran's worst fears, that America sought regime change. Tensions rose sharply. Meanwhile, Iran expanded its nuclear program, claiming it was for peaceful energy. The US and its allies remained suspicious. The nuclear deal, hope and collapse. In 2015, after years of negotiation, Iran and world powers signed the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. Iran agreed to limit its nuclear activities. In return, sanctions were eased. For a brief moment, there was hope. But in 2018, the United States withdrew from the deal. Sanctions returned stronger than before. Iran's economy suffered, and trust collapsed once again. 2020, killing of Qasem Soleimani. In January 2020, the conflict nearly turned into full war. The United States killed Iranian general Qasem Soleimani in a drone strike in Iraq. Soleimani was a national hero in Iran. Millions attended his funeral. Iran responded by launching missiles at US military bases. Although no full war followed, the Middle East stood on the edge of disaster. The conflict today, Iran and the United States continue to confront each other through proxy groups, cyber attacks, sanctions, and regional conflicts. There is no official war, but no real peace either. Both sides remain cautious, yet prepared. Conclusion: the conflict between Iran and America is not simple. It is shaped by history, fear, ideology, and pride. Until trust is rebuilt, the shadow of conflict will remain over the Middle East.